So in this video, I just want to break down ticker symbol NNVC and kind of break down my thought process and why I thought it was a great long play today. And before I get into that, I just kind of want to tell you a little bit about my channel and why I made it. So basically, I just wanted to make this channel to be able to document my trading experience and be able to have a platform where I can post my videos to be able to connect with new traders and be able to get feedback from more experienced traders. So basically, going into ticker symbol NNVC, I wasn't able to see the trading action when the market actually opened. I ended up getting out of work today at around noon, so I was able to come home and jump on my computer and see how it was doing. Now this is one of the stocks I've been watching for the last couple of days, seeing how it's a biotech stock, and they're actually working on a treatment for the new coronavirus, which is huge. If you didn't hear how big that virus is, I'm sure you heard about it. You can see in the morning when I got out of work at 12, I was able to obviously see the chart, and I was able to see that in the morning here it made a move, about a 17% move, from these lows here. You want to say about 10 minutes. That's an 18% move in 10 minutes, so it's a pretty big jump. And you can see, and what I was able to see when I jumped on my computer is kind of a symmetrical triangle pattern forming here. See, it comes to a high, comes to a low, touches the trend line, and then kind of comes back, touches the support trend line, and it kind of bounces around. And as the time goes on, it starts to compress in a sense. It starts to consolidate. But as you can see towards the end, and I actually called this out, I predicted that it would in fact break out of this symmetrical triangle pattern and break the high a day into the $12 price range, which it did. But yeah, so basically why I think it made that move up to the $12 range was towards the end of this consolidation, as it started to really compress right around here. Volume from earlier in the day, when it made that 18% move, obviously the volume was very high, and throughout the day you could see that it starts to wash out. Now typically when that happens, when it starts to wash out throughout the day, and from my experience, from what I've seen in the market, it starts to wash out while a pattern is forming. Basically by the end of that pattern and by the end of the washout of volume, there's going to be a big move either towards the upside or towards the downside. Now this, obviously, as you can see, it's more of a long setup. As I was saying, symmetrical triangle pattern here. Now as it started to consolidate, it wasn't really going anywhere from, let's say, about right here to this area. It kind of flattened out, as you can see. Now when it actually does start to flatten out, that usually means that the big move is basically going to happen. And as you can see, as all the volume got washed out, it started to consolidate, started to flatten out, and then boom, big volume spike. Stock breaks out of the pattern, makes a move up to that $12 range, and a lot of traders were able to make a good amount of profit with buying during this consolidation, because they were able to observe what was happening and how this stock could have been setting up for a great long play, which in fact it did. You can also see that it made a couple nice bounces off the VWAP here, which also is a good indicator that it has strong support. Now I'm sure there was short sellers or short bias traders that were looking for this pattern to break towards the downside. and maybe break past VWAP, and that could have gave it more strength towards the upside as those short sellers started to buy back their shares, because they could see that the pattern wasn't breaking down to the downside. So you don't want to lose money, so they started to buy back those shares as buyers started to come in towards the end of this consolidation, which basically gave it the strength to move up towards the $12 range. Now I'm basically just stating my opinion on what I think happened. Maybe this isn't how it actually panned out, and that's not the reason why it made such a big move right here towards the end of this pattern. But again, that's why I made this channel, so I can share my opinions and experiences, so I can get better as a trader and maybe be able to help other people out. So basically I got home around noon, right around here, and it already looked like a long play to me. So as I said, I predicted it would break through this pattern and make a strong move up. Now unfortunately I wasn't at my desktop to be able to see this move that happened within these couple minutes. Actually I jumped back on my computer to check on this stock to see how it was doing right around here when it started to sell off a little bit. But when I did jump on, it did make a little move back up, and then it had a very strong selling candle right here. As you can see, a lot of sellers probably tried to come in as it made a move back up to high of day to try and short this stock. So as you can see, it did get bought right back up, and it started to make a move through the 9 moving average. So I actually did make a paper trade on this today. Let me show you real quick. One second. Make this a little smaller. Alright, so basically my thought process on this was shorters were starting to get squeezed out, and as they could tell that it wasn't going to go further down, more people started to cover up their shares, which gave it some strength. It broke through the 9, so I thought it would be a good long play to buy back in. That's kind of chasing a stock when it already made this big move, which you should have got in down here and took your profits up here. That'd be ideal, but like I said, I wasn't on my desktop, so I did try to take a little chunk out of it. So yeah, I got in, as you can see right here. Let me make this bigger. Yeah, I bought 1,000 shares at 12.22 on this candle right here as it was starting to squeeze up. Now right when I bought in, it did start to squeeze back down below the 9 moving average. It did start to show a little bit of weakness. So if this was real money, I would start to think about cutting my losses. So that's exactly what I did. So basically I took a $70 loss right here, but I knew the stock was strong, especially it being a biotech stock looking for a treatment for the new virus and everything. It's been a really strong stock the last week and a half, I'd say. So I kept an eye on it, and it did in fact break right back through this 9. Kind of faked a lot of people out right here, in my opinion. So basically, as you can see right here, I took another 1,000 shares at 12.27. I believe it was on this candle right here. So as you can see, it was showing a lot of buying pressure coming up, past that 9. It was holding that 9. So I decided to take another 1,000 shares to see if it could break the previous high a day. which it did in fact. When it started to squeeze up, as you can see, took off 500 shares at 12.49, and then took off the last 500 shares at 12.64, which gave me a gain of 225. That would be my exact mind frame going into this trade. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share with you guys today. Basically how I was able to identify this move up right here. And if you guys have any feedback, definitely leave a comment below if you think I could have analyzed something a little more, or if there's something I missed that I could have looked a little deeper into. Yeah, definitely leave a comment so I can take a look at that. It'd be much appreciated. Just wanted to kind of share my thought process on this, on the whole day. I think this was actually a really good long play from the pattern that it started to form throughout the day after this big move this morning. And then as you can see at 7:20, they came out with some news that confirms that the company has been working on a treatment for the new coronavirus. You can see that the stock, made some big moves from that news. Because as you can see, that news came out at, let's see, 7:20-ish. Yeah, 7:20 it came out, and you can see this, huge move right here started at 7:23. So you can see after market from right at this point jumped up nearly 40% or 42% basically from this news. I would say, in my opinion, this move all started from this news catalyst. There's going to be a lot of eyes on these biotech companies, and if they're, able to successfully come out with a treatment for that virus. So that's basically why these biotech stocks that are preventing viruses are making such big moves. That's basically all I wanted to share with you guys today. And if this video helped in any way, or maybe your thought process was similar to mine on this stock today, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos, or if you're just beginning your trading journey as well, be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to be coming out with more content. Definitely looking to connect with new traders and new people, so definitely subscribe. And yeah, definitely be much appreciated. And thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.